Radiant team ban.
All right, welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. Game number 1 of our final series today, that is. We have an elimination match for these two teams. The final tribe taking on SexyAsF here in a best out of 3. So this is from Group A, of course. Like I said, elimination match. Winner stays alive to go on to the decider. In this GSL format, the loser is done and eliminated from the Chi League Invitational. I'm Breaky CPK, joined by Hasbaz once again. So we've got to see glimpses of both of these teams, only in best out of 1s, but again, coming up on the short end. This potentially could be a pretty good series, though. Of course, 2 quality teams going out of here.
Yeah, it's very true. Obviously, the final tribe, they might be a slight favorite because they have been both involved in the major and the minor qualifiers that SexyAsF weren't able to make it through those opens to, but still looking pretty damn competitive. And I have to say, I'm disappointed in both teams again, banning out the Io and the Mars. They're just not going to let us see these new heroes, are they, today?
Yeah. I mean, Mars, like, I mean, Mars is strong. I mean, don't get me wrong. It's just one of those. I think Mars really is. It's the idea that's like it's a new hero, so people are just do not want to deal with it, especially with it being so recent after the patch. Io, I mean, I kind of just get because, of course, of the history of that hero, and when he is seen in the competitive scene, it seems like he always is a top tier ban, anyways. But Mars, something tells me we'll start seeing Mars slip through a little bit as the days go on here post patch.
Yeah.
But
It's, I'm hoping that's the case, you know, as teams find out what else is strong in this new patch. But it seems we're still reverting to the old, and we saw him in the last game be very successful, the Doom.
Yeah, first pick Doom. Despite those nerfs, he's still overall a strong hero. The early laning phase especially is what got hit the most with that Devour ability, but certainly still a strong hero throughout the game. And another hero you have to think about whenever you see a Doom is that Grimstroke, the pairing of the Soulbind synergy. Double Doom, of course, very dangerous. So now SexyAsF has a decision to make. Do they take Grimstroke themselves, or do they leave it open with the potential that the final tribe will likely pick a second? So maybe what they're thinking about.
Yeah, I mean that's a very good point. They thought the hero was very strong, but they're going for the Shadow Shaman. This was wasn't it? It was Sexy, right, who banned it out. So they must think this hero is still extremely strong. Received a slight nerf to its laning phase again with that mana increase for the Ether Shock here on the Shadow Shaman. But still a very good 4 position. You know, he just does so much right-click damage, has all that lockdown with the shackles, with the hex, as well as a little bit of push with the Serpent Wards. So just all around a great 4 position in the Shadow Shaman.
Yeah, I mean, a little bit. I mean, a lot of push, especially as a support hero. The idea that he could just push out a lane himself and threaten a tower so much that you have to react to it if he puts the wards down, or else it's going to be lost. So really is a hero that can do so much. So I understand the first big Shadow Shaman, but they're using a lot of time. And this was in their first game. I remember they were the team that they were down to like 20 seconds reserve time in within their first couple of picks. So they like to think things out initially, and that does give you less time to react later on in the draft. So I don't know if that's necessarily the better strategy, but to each their own.
Yeah, it's, I mean, you're totally right. You want to have time near the end in case you get totally blindsided by a pick. But more important than them, apparently, is establishing what their idea is and what their lineup is. And apparently they want a Brewmaster. I think the Brew's a really interesting pick into the Doom. I think if you are going to play this Brewmaster, you have to pick other targets who are like must Doom targets, because otherwise, if there's only one of them who, you know, relies on spells in your lineup, Doom is just gonna look for this Brewmaster every single fight.
Radiant team banned. Templar Assassin.
Okay, and they're not gonna go the Grimstroke route. Instead, they go a Templar Assassin, something that Chessie will play very well. His brother Limp, of course, known as one of the best Templar Assassin players, but Chessie certainly can play TA just fine himself, as they ban a sniper right away. Could have certainly been a good lane counter against the TA.
Yeah, I think that's just the idea. But yeah, TA making it through to the, you know, being promoted to a first pick phase. You know, lots of times people think the TA's you know, very susceptible to counters, but because, you know, even if you pick something like a Venomancer, you know, it's just not going to do as much as the TA. She's going to, even if she loses the lane, she's going to catch back up in the jungle, continue to accelerate, and then you're going to have real TA issues on your hand, as it does a lot more than that kind of hero.
Yeah. I am surprised that they do leave Grimstroke open. I thought for sure I'm going to see the Grimstroke follow-up ban by SexyAsF, but they ban a Rubik and then Enigma instead. So Grimstroke option is still there for TFT. Just that double Doom, it is so good, and it's not like Grimstroke's a bad support hero. So I just find it hard to believe we're not going to see Grimstroke here from TFT. But we are going to see a Warlock once again, as SexyAsF will pick up the Warlock to be in that support for whoever the core may be, healing him up.
Yeah, it looks like they were certainly watching the last game, so we might see another, you know, bit of a weak laner who gets enabled by the Warlock. I'm curious who it may be. Maybe they are thinking about that Spectre again. Just the Warlock Spectre lane really is the classic one to me. But the final tribe, they're not going for that Grimstroke. They're going to take the Oracle, unless they want the Grimstroke as a 4 position. So I actually do take that back, and I do feel it thrives a lot more, because the first game we saw it was played by it was played in the 5 position by SSA Spartan, and it meant that he just wasn't able to have the kind of farm and have the kind of impact that we've seen from these 4 position Grimstrokes that are able to get an early hex. And so maybe the final strive, they might still go back for it.
Yeah. I mean, they might just have a different mindset, but I truly do think that it's a very good hero and hard to pass up for TFT with that synergy. But yeah, maybe they will. And let's go a different direction. But 4th pick for SexyAsF. They need both their cores now. Somebody that could take advantage of having that Warlock in the laning phase. Morphling comes to mind. You are up against a Doom though, and that could be a little dangerous, I suppose.
Yeah. I think they probably take their mid hero here, because you know what the matchup is, so you don't have to reveal your carry, and especially having last pick for SexyAs, so you can choose your mid hero, know what the lane matchup is, and then you can try and counter what the full draft of final tribe is with your last pick. But they're taking a lot of time to do it. Think about what can lane against the TA. Maybe something like a Kunkka. We've seen some people have success with that.
Lena.
Well, they go the Lena direction instead, and interesting. I mean, Lena's not necessarily considered great into the TA matchup because she doesn't have the best ways to get to the refraction. So TA will have that refraction to play defensive against the nuke chances for Lena. So I'm not sure I'm sold on that pick, but we're confident that Lena will be able to scale throughout this game and be a nuisance, I suppose.
Yeah, it's obviously, you know, you're not going to be able to get that harassed with the Dragon Slave like you would like against other people, but the Lena does have a big range advantage on the Templar Assassin. So I think the idea there is that hopefully she'll be able to just land a few right clicks, poke down the shield, and then maybe get lucky. But I do think it's probably a TA favored lane unless she really misplays.
Yeah, I mean, this certainly, I would say, a TA favorite lane, and Jesse is probably seeing that and being like, all right, that's fine with me. We're good to go. Oracle also with the Fate's Edict could certainly play a big role here with the Magic immunity and the timing being right against Lena. So yeah, it's, again, I'm not sold on the Lena pick, but we'll see how they perform with it. And Taki, the mid player, the one to play it, I'm sure. But DFT, their 4th pick themselves, I'm not going to say it anymore. Said enough. We'll see if they have that. Okay, that is going to be something different. They go Clockwork. You know, funny enough, Clockwork was a hero that I was looking through the patch notes, and he just had a very simple change, despite not really being a relevant hero right now. But his base armor was increased by 1, and then that's it. So, it's a solid buff early on. I know Hanskin loves playing this hero though, so they do go the Clockwork.
10 seconds
Yeah, it's I mean, I'm excited to see it. Obviously, it's really good versus this Lena, you know. Also, the Shadow Shaman, you know, there's a whole bunch of people who do not want to be stuck in their cogs with the Clockwork. And TA, she does have just enough range, I think, to be able to output damage into the cogs. I think. I'm pretty sure.
Wait, she has what did you say?
She has enough range to be able to output damage into the cogs, right? She's not zoned out.
Okay, yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I would think so, for sure.
It's just because TA is not a very heavily
10
ranged hero,
seconds
at least
remaining.
with the early points and the slide blades. But I think it should be enough. But it is very
5
good. You know,
seconds
Lina, a very
remaining.
squishy hero, as well as the Shadow Shaman. You close the gap on both of them, they're going to have real trouble either getting out or
Radiant
casting any
team
of their
pick.
spells. And the final tribe, they do get rid of that Spectre, so no Warlock Spectre lanes coming out.
No Warlock Spectre lanes, but again, still plenty of other options to go with. But they banned Faceless Void on the side of SexyAsF. That would have been an interesting option to choose. Not the most popular one lately. Nox is History Planet, though, so I suppose a good
Dire
one.
team pick.
Okay, there's the Troll Warlock. I was going to say Lifestealer is another hero that actually plays quite a bit. But they go the Troll, and
You may now
they
select
do
your
go the
heroes.
Morphling. So, I mean, with the Clockwork control, like, Morphling is good against, though, it still stands with the Doom, however. Morphling will likely want to get a Lincolns this game. Deal with that.
Yeah, he probably will get a Lincoln's, but you know, we did say that what you want to be doing with the Doom is have multiple Doom targets, and you know, they have Skylark on the Brewmaster who you want to be dooming, otherwise he's going to be able to kite your Troll Warlord. And by the way, the synergy between the Brewmaster and the Morphling is so good. Once you get them morph into allies, you take the Drunken Brawler, and then you're just critting with all your Morphling right clicks for, you know, like 500 or something. It's a really powerful synergy between the Brewmaster and the Morphling.
Yeah. So that level
10
20
seconds
talent
remaining.
likely could get it for that reason. Keep an eye on that here, but
5 seconds
this
remaining.
is it for the lineups. Again, game one of our last best of 3 of the day. Our elimination match and focus. Queuing up on the Morphling now, so just to make sure who's playing what. It looks like as all the expected roles as Zibby on Doom. So we'll be an offlane Doom, and again, Hanskin mentioned earlier, it's a hero that he's definitely known for playing, despite it not necessarily being the most popular at times. He appreciates what it brings, and it is fun to watch those hook shots and the cog traps happen, but Morphling happens to be, like I said earlier, good against that. Can't really be trapped in as long as he has waveform good to go. So that's where the Morphling certainly is a good final pick.
Yeah, so I'm just trying to evaluate, you know, what do all of these drafts want to do. And so the side of the final tribe, you know, they want to come out strong from their lanes, obviously, with the Troll Warlord TA. They're, you know, both of them are usually thought of as fairly good lane dominators. I think Frost, he should go into the SNY BKB type build. I don't think, you know, you're going to go as far into the late game when you have this Temporal Assassin. So you want to look for that mid-game timing. Whereas the dire side for the side of Sexy as Fuck, it feels to me like they have a lot resting on this Morphling getting massive. And I'm not sure, you know, obviously Morphlings can fight early. They have a lot of burst provided by that adaptive strike. But I'm not totally sure that they're all gonna peak synergistically at the same time,
Prepare for battle.
whereas I feel the side of the final tribe, they're gonna all come online and be able to fight around the same type of period.
Yeah, it certainly feels much more of a 4-1 strat to me. Morphling is going to be this late game hero that SexyAsF is going to be relying on. Let Lina be the leader in the earlier state. But again, this isn't necessarily a Lina favored lane. So to that logic, that's where I also am concerned. The fact that they picked up a later on Lina mid matchup into that Templar Assassin. And speaking of Lina, she is going to be rooted up. Do they have any follow-up? A cog trap if he gets close enough? Yes, they do. And Lina's certainly dead here. Or maybe I got too ahead of myself because certainly is fine.
That wasn't too.
All right. The appropriate reaction right there from Nataki.
30
Yeah, it's
seconds
very
to
well played, living through that. Both his stuns, you know, timed perfectly on point and able to walk away. So this big smoke from the side of the final tribe doesn't result in a kill.
I'm trying to catch focus. Well, unfocused, I guess. Let's try too much. But he is going to hug the tier 2 tower and be fine. But TFT clearly making a statement that they're going to be aggressive up here at the top lane. As Troll's up there as well. So Doom sitting up at the safe lane bottom by himself. For the time being, musical lanes, likely possibility early on.
Yep, as just you said, musical lanes focus. He's heading to the bottom lane. Doesn't want to deal with this tri-lane with the Frost Troll Warlord.
And he stutter stepping. He's like, wait a second, did he go bottom? Yeah, he's going to keep moving bottom, of course. As we always mention with musical lanes, it's whoever TP's first kind of gives up on the idea of it. So Morphling spending the time walking down there. But
Yeah,
if Troll TP's, then
SSA Spartan, by the way, he's looking to get a career snipe, but I don't think he's going to be successful because this Doom is eventually going to scout him out.
Look at Troll, though. Troll's going to walk all the way bottom lane, so he's not going to go for the quick TP. He is going to walk the whole way and force a decision to be made by Focus on the Morphling. Does he then TP to the top and then do the matchup up there, or does he keep walking? So we'll see what he decides. Now, for now, Morphling's getting much better of this because he's been in the lane for a bit longer than Troll.
Yeah, he made that rotation a lot earlier, so it means they do have this dual lane versus the Era Oracle, who's been able to soak up some levels, but not that much CF.
Oh my god. Wow. Okay, he was full agility, understandably, and dear god, though, that burst damage that just came flying out of the whirling axis from Troll, and he had a little bit of regen, but it wasn't nearly enough. That just was looked crazy, but like I said, with the full agility, I mean, he's only at 380 life, so it's not that surprising.
And the double Oracle nuke does 180, so he's almost dead off that. And it is every time I see Morphlings, it's really worth pointing out that level 1 attribute shift, it's really not that good. It doesn't happen fast enough to make you that survival Morphling that you usually think you are, because you hit, oh, I'm going into full strength, but it's only level 1 and it does not happen quickly enough to be able to save you from that kind of damage.
Yeah, it takes a lot of time, so doesn't really feel the greatest. Clearly right there, not nearly enough to save him, so he makes a long walk back to the top lane. Again, he still has a TP. He's gonna hold it though. In fact, Brewmaster will TP to the bottom lane, so now it's decision time again for TFT. Do they react with Troll Warlord maybe going top, or is he just going to stay here for now? As Dire scans him. Okay, interesting scan. So he knows that Clockwork's missing, and sure enough, Clockwork with the invis is sitting here mid. So Nataki, pretty clearly evident that he's aware that this is happening.
Yeah, it's like we saw the last game. These mid players very heads up about when they don't get a rune and a 4-position hero is missing. It's really good communication from the side saying, we haven't seen the Clockwork for a while. Maybe he got a rune. Maybe it's an invis rune.
Clockwork is making his way to the bottom lane, though. Doesn't have invis anymore, but doesn't matter. Gonna run after the Rasta. Goes in with the battery assault. The Cog Trap eventually hits. And Troll Warlord is distance, but he will get in there. And Hanskin credit for the kill. So Mikasa ends up falling. TP, this time from Oracle, makes his way to the top lane. So Oracle alone is definitely quite a threat to this Morphling. We already saw and mentioned the Purifying Flames. It's level 2. It's a lot of burst damage, so Morphling certainly has to keep an eye out for that.
Yeah, I find it very interesting that the dual lanes that they're choosing to run, they must think that the Clockwork is much more effective against the Brewmaster than the Oracle. And they might be right about that, but Hanskin, he sure as hell is taking a lot of damage.
Yeah, not a friendly time for him up against those two. I think it's just more the Oracle specifically against the Morphling is what they really like, to be honest. And then Hanskin's kind of just sacrificing as a result of it. Coming back towards the bottom with the Illusion rune activated. Top lane. And pretty far up here is TFT. It's Inferno Blade. It's a good damage, and you can tell Arrow wants to use that Purifying Flame so badly, but Focus. I mean, he's ready. He's got only 1 stick charge, but there's the heals from Warlock as well, but there's the immediate purge, so that's why too. With the Fortune's End. It purges off that heal, and so suddenly Warlock, his landing phase is not really that strong at all.
Yeah, you're totally right. Well, I didn't think about it at all, but this Oracle, it's a massive counter to the Warlock. His whole job is to sustain. He doesn't have a stun. He doesn't have any sort of burst damage. Well, but what he does have is that heal, and he's being made ineffective.
Clockwork, meanwhile, goes down, having to catch the tail end of that. He had the Cog Trap up, but Brewmaster and Rasta just doing too much, and Troll could not do enough. But look at Clockwork. He's going to destroy both the bounty runes with the illusion that he still had. Oh, that's clever.
That's painful to see if you're the Shadow Shaman. You're like, who got this rune? And then you see it in front of your face as you walk up to the second high down. They're actually great micro when he goes down, just not giving away that advantage. Again, they fight Morphling.
It's just too much damage. The Purifying Flames, it really is. And like, he's sort of shifting strength at that point, but it almost feels like he just has to. He can't be as greedy. Like he has to sit more strength than he is, because it feels like that's going to happen every time.
Yeah, as well as the Doom, you know, he has percentage-based damage. I know it's only level 1 at the moment, but eventually it's going to be higher, and then it really hurts even when you're strength morphing.
Mid matchup, TA's 31-7, is jungling a little bit right now, but Lina's 28-11, so Hitaki is honestly doing very well, considering Oracle's wrapping around though.
Yeah, bottom lane, Frost I think is in a bit of trouble, but they actually no points for the Ether Shock. Sorry, no mana for the Ether Shock.
No mana, yeah, just shy of it. Working on those arcane boots to help, but yeah, not enough mana for the Ether Shock, so Troll doesn't have regen on him though currently. He is flying out some regen. Oh, that's a lot of regen. Holy crap. A lot of items.
Yeah, so I was going to say we're seeing the nerfs to the Radiant side come into practice here, because if they hadn't doubled up these trees, Chessie would be farming and stacking these, but now he actually is doing it to this camp, because it's a larger camp and it's just basically the same amount of time to access, I think.
Still, that was one of the changes you were mentioning. So yeah, they made it so you can't just clip through one tree to pull that camp, is what you're saying.
Yeah, exactly. You used to just be able to stack it with so much ease, because you could just cut one tree, but instead they added another tree line.
Bottom lane. Alright, Mikasa goes down. Brewmaster trying to help turn on the Oracle. Fatal Bond's applied from Spartan. It might be enough damage in the long run, but nope, he's going to pop a stick. And that Curry goes down as well during all this. But no, Oracle purges it off. He's going to be good to go.
Yeah, this Oracle, it's so good against the Warlock. It's not something we talked about in lane just because we assume Oracle's strong in all lanes. He didn't really get touched this patch, and he was, you know, already almost first pick, first ban material in the last one.
I'm trying to remember. Yeah, was Warlock picked? It was third pick Warlock, and then they responded with Oracle, I think. Yeah, that's what it was. Because I was about to get on them for picking Warlock into Oracle, but no, that was actually a good counter pick from TFT.
Oh yeah, it was TFT counter picking, not bad drafting by the side of Sexy. So you can't get too mad at them for forgetting about the Oracle who's still in the pool.
I mean, I forgot about the idea again. It's not until the game we're like, oh yeah, this Oracle's pretty good. So I'm going to blame them necessarily, but yeah, something to look out for. But either way, speaking of Warlock, he gets found by both the Clockwork as well as Oracle. Bottom lane, Noxo, or Frost even, is going to get taken out. The Primal Split of Brewmaster doing him in. Goes through with a Storm Brewing.
Yeah, both your supports, they're off ganking somewhere else. You know he's alone. You've already hit level 6. So the two of them, a very nice kill on this Troll Warlord. One thing I'm interested to see what Frost does is more and more I'm seeing Troll Warlords, they don't take the Battle Trance until a lot later on, because, you know, its main point is survivability, and it just hampers your farm a fair amount, because every other skill, you know, more whirling axes, more further stacks, make you farm faster. So I'm curious if he does take the point at level 6 in it.
Dire are scanning.
I think it's a bit like a Wraith King ulti in a way. If you're forced to take it, you know, you'll take it, but you don't want to be taking it.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if he doesn't go for it, but we'll see. He's about to hit level 6, so we'll have our answer soon. Frost is farming away. Frost is more of a greedy farmer player in history, so doesn't have anything queued up yet, but something tells me that Battle Fury is something that he's potentially thinking about this game. He does have a TA core mid, so maybe not, but you could also look at it, he'll kind of secure more of the late game where TA can snowball in the earlier game, I suppose.
Yeah, talking of Frost, is he in a lot of damage? He has taken the Battle Trance at level 6. It looks like he just doesn't want to be feeding away those kills.
He might use it right here for the kill. He doesn't even need it. Purifying Flames weren't enough. In fact, Clockwork sending in the Rocket Flare, and now Skylark's all of a sudden being clapped on. Thunderclap used. TA's here, picks up the bounty ring. Brewmaster's like, haha, I got the bounty. Never mind. Melded TA right in front of him.
Yeah, it's because, you know, you're more than happy to sacrifice your life for a bounty Brood. But when you don't even get it and there's a surprise TA there, you know, it has to feel pretty harsh. What I was going to say is games where I've seen the Troll Warlords up against Morphlings, they usually build a Diffusal Blade at some point. Just because this Morphling, he's such a mana-dependent hero on being able to get in and out of fights with that waveform. And because you hit so fast with the Troll Warlord, you eventually do burn all his mana very quickly.
Mm-hmm. Sure. All right, look out for that.
Yep, he's building it. Oh, analysis. I feel
feels good, man.
That's like the first big call I think I've got right today.
Well, either you're both right or you're both wrong. If you look at it that way. I mean, pros don't know everything, so it is good logic. So it's understandable. Good call there for the Diffusal Blade pickup, and sure enough, yeah, first item. I guess I'm a little surprised to see it first item. If he's gonna go Diffusal Blade, maybe like the S and Y into a Diffusal Blade, but. No, he really is just going right for it in that high priority, though.
I think it's all about preference on what timing they want to hit, and because Chessie's having such a good time, is very close to the Desolator. They're going to be fighting sooner than later. By the time he has his big first item, and you know it is kind of like a Yasha in a way. It gives you a lot of agility, so it does speed up your farm. So it's it does work out pretty well getting that Diffusal Blade first.
Yeah. Well, that's going to be online sooner than later. And then you have the Desolator, almost finished by TA. She is top farm in the game right now. And then you also have Doom, who's keeping up too. And top 3 farmers all belong to the side of the Final Tribe. So TFT in a very cozy spot. In fact, now just even looking at it, 4,000 net worth lead at 12 minutes into the game. That's a pretty absurd lead to have at this point in the game, especially when they don't even have a tower kill. They're going to get the first tower kill now at the top lane, but it's going to be about a 5,000 net worth lead after this one.
Yeah, they've just been farming so well with this TA. Cheshi, you know, he won mid by a tiny amount, but where he really accelerated is where he went into jungle, and that's why you see this TA being picked up early. But Cheshi, he might overextend a teeny bit here.
Shot in, Chaotic Offering comes out of response. Now Lena beating his way to the cog, but the Doom applied, and now Lena first Surgeon is dead. The Fatal Bond spread into nice damage. Chessie, he is getting low to this, actually. Refraction in 1 second. He pops it. He's disarmed currently thanks to the Fate's Edict, but getting healed up as a result, too. Skylark coming back together now. And he's a thunderclap, but Skylark wants the beat down on Doom. False Promise saves TA a little bit further with the Chaotic Offering still nearby, but TA is just going to meld up. But they see him doing, don't they? Yeah. The damage is way too much. Look at that focus actually morphing into the Oracle. It's a little confusing for a second. Uses the Purifying Flames to nuke him down, though. So, well played there. And now going to pressure the tier 1 mid, but we're not even done just yet. In fact, Clockwork going back in the cog trap, but he cog traps himself, essentially. However, Skylark had to commit too far and gets taken out. TF2 will defend the tower, at least.
Wow. So, the side of sexy as fuck, they were all...
Dire's top tower is under attack. Radiant structures are fortified.
Purifying Flames to the Fortune's End, and eventually he pops the full Coronet, but clearing up the fight is this Morphling who rotated in and realized that he could get that AoE damage as well as the burst by turning into the Oracle. So all in all, I think a good fight for the side of Sexy, just because they get the TA kill, who was really accelerating in the farm.
Troll Warlord, him and TA are killing Roshan. Meanwhile, it is going to be an Aegis pickup. Who did he give it to? TA probably? Probably start. Yeah, Chessie's going to pick it up. Desolator finished, but you also look at Troll and... Okay, so he did have that queued up for the Yasha instead. So he is going to go the S and Y. But I do think the Diffusal Blade is certainly something he might think about later. Meanwhile, mid lane, hook shot in from Hanskin. He was pretty deep initially. Rasa trapped in the cog. He's going to be fine, though, as he has the support to fight them back. Chaotic Offering still on cooldown for 30 seconds. So the Dara team not necessarily ready to do a big fight yet.
Yeah, but they have managed to find the Doom. Oh, but with those phase boots just walks out of that wall trap. They don't have enough damage. I was actually going to talk about Zibe's item build here. He's gone for the Vladimir's. This is an item, you know, we see it from offlaners, but not usually a Doom. Usually we see the drums into a Blink Dagger or something, but it looks like he just wants to tank up his side for whenever they do mount an eventual push.
Yeah, Vlad's, it's a hard R to just pass up having the option, and Clockwork, I suppose you could argue maybe could have gotten it, but Doom's certainly a better candidate. So, and the way he's building too, the pipe is even queued up next, so yeah, he's really heavy on that. Blink would be nice, or Shadow Blade for the matter, one of those two initiation tools to get on top of the Morphling or the Lena even, but just going to build aura heavy now instead. And they are hitting a power point in that TA is going to have the Blink Shooter herself to go with the Death Slayer, and then Troll, the S and Y, is just about here too. And of course with the Aegis on top of all of that, they are certainly going to be pushing objectives as they do right there with the mid tower. So that net worth lead remains around the 4K, now 5K lead slightly in their favor. Morphling is going the Ethereal Blade first. Interesting. So he wants the Ethereal Blade first, and then he is going to go back for a Lincoln's.
So this Ethereal Blade, it's just... What?
He canceled his TP! He canceled his own TP! He misclicked there! Oh no.
Oh, someone clearly doesn't have, you know, things don't interrupt channeling things.
Yeah. The
I can't remember the actual name of the setting.
I can't either. Fortune's End. False promise on Hoskins, so he is going to survive. That's the good news. Especially thanks to Rasta with distraction. In fact, they might set up in another turn kill for the Dagger team, as Oracle attempting to run away. ATX on himself, and nope, we cannot get out, so get a turn kill out of it. Honestly,
I mean, he baited out Doom. Maybe it was planned all along, you know, with the rest of his team rotating in. Or maybe it was a mistake in the TV. But either way, I was going to talk about this this Ethereal Blade here for a second. And it's so good versus the TA as well as the Troll, because both of them, they want to be, they're right clickers to output their damage. So you hit either one with the Ethereal Blade, even if you don't get the damage of the shotgun, it means they're not able to hurt anyone else in your team. Or, you know, if you can't reach one of them because they're BKB'd, you just use your Ethereal Blade to save whoever they're going on. So it's a really nice item in this game.
Oh, that tower. 11 life on the tier 2 tower up top, but it is going to be left alone for now as TA pops refraction, goes back in. However, there's a lot more here than she realized. She does have Aegis. Can she blink in time? Doesn't have refraction initially. Blink out? No, the timing perfect. And they will burst down Chessie. So it ends up being a great find for SexyAsF. SNY at least just finished for Troll Warlord meanwhile, but yeah, they also do a good job of using this tier 2 tower as bait, and then it eventually is going to be denied.
Yeah, it's a bit rough losing your TA like that, and especially not getting a kill off the Doom bottom, because it felt like for the side of the Final Tribe, they were really starting to hit, you know, their fighting swing, especially with the Deso Blink Dagger, you know, the two marquee items of a Templar Assassin. That's when you want to be taking these fights and moving together as your group, as a team. That's, you know, that's why we have the Vlads on the Doom, because they're intending to be grouped. They're intending to use their auras together. I do like the fact that he stopped off for the Blink Dagger though, because it did feel like they were lacking initiation other than the Clockwork Hook.
Doom jumping in right there. They did a lot of bursts of Morphling, but he had about 15 seconds on the cooldown of his Doom ability, so it just seemed maybe a little too early. However, Spartan, he's thinking about it. Oh, the false or the Fortune's End, just in case. He's right there from Oracle, but Warlock's going to be turning the Chaotic Offering before? No, and probably would have been a lost cause because the rest of his team running away. And they go retreat mode. Instead, TFT will make their way bottom. Look to clear up a tier 1 tower down here.
Yep, no backdoor regen on tier 1, so they don't even need this creep wave. That would have maybe eventually met them without the glyph. Yeah, but the Warlock, he did the right thing. You know, sometimes you're going down, you feel you should just pop your ulti for the sake of it. But if that Warlock ulti was down, that, you know, they might be committing even harder towards tier 2s, because that's the massive teamfight ultimate for the side of Sexy.
Doom gonna be committed for Brewmaster, so no problem split, easy kill. Warlock, now he jumps in, he finally got a offering. He is gonna get his spin upon off as well, but dies shortly after. Clockwork saved with that Fate's Edict and healed on up, so pretty much right there, perfect example of, yeah, using Chaotic Offering just didn't make a lot of sense at that point.
Yeah, I really think he thought there was a lot more of his team on Hanskin. I think No, really nice double stun there by Nataki.
Is that going to be the difference? It looks like it is, so Nataki gets away. But it's, I mean, the fact that Brewmaster got killed right off the bat, like as he TP'd in, he had the right idea initially, but then as soon as he saw Brewmaster get doomed, especially, I think that was the play of, okay, let's not make this happen.
Yeah, exactly. He thought he had the rest of the team behind him with the ultimate, but they just clear up the Warlock and his Golem both so quickly. You know, he literally just fed farm to the enemy side.
Yeah. What do they catch over here? That's going to be a ward trap on the Troll Warlord. Battle Trance maybe. False Promise going to be activated. He has a chance of healing up. The Morphling, as Oracle, is also doing damage himself to that False Promise. False Promise wears off, though, and so does the Battle Trance. And Troll is killed. Oracle also caught. Let's see, Focus. Nice nuke from the Adaptive Strike, and then, of course, has the Ethereal Blade on top of that. Good find.
Yeah, so a nice fight there on the bottom lane. They are killing this Troll Warlord a fair amount here. They have got the pick-off on Chessie twice, but he is going to have the BKB soon. And BKB is a really big timing for this TA. So I think with the second Aegis, with the BKB, that's when we can look to see the final tribe push once again. But Frost... Focus is I think really does have to be a worry for the side of the final tribe because, you know, he only has one item, but he's still so survivable and he's going to have that Lincoln Sphere before long. And then I really don't know how you handle him.
Oh, Morphling, yeah. Ideally, somehow getting it taken off, which they have tools to do that beforehand. Specifically the nuke from Oracle, the Purifying Flames. Could try to play around that idea, but of course, good players will react once that Lincoln pops in time, ideally. So they're still certainly going for it. Lena forced to have to go with the Yules as well as the bot, so she's actually progressed very well. In fact, she's slightly ahead of the Morphling. Interesting. So Lena really has been farming well in that aspect, which is good news.
I feel like we haven't really talked a lot about the Lena, but, you know, she's doing decently for herself. 3-1-1. Has these boots of travel, which I think are an interesting adaptation. I guess they just want to be able to deal with the lanes and the pressure that's going to be applied by this TA and Troll lineup.
Dire are scanning.
The Templar does finish a BKB, though. And Troll's also working on his. So BKB for Templar Assassin. Running up mid, placing some more traps. Roshan minute 17 before it will spawn. TFT could have waited out and looked to go for another quick Roshan attempt, but Smoke Play will be quickly spotted by Chessie. At least exposes the Brewmaster. Feeling pretty cozy in the mid lane. So keeping the lanes pushed in is SexyAsF. It's finding it hard to farm in areas right now.
Yeah, that is a very big gold lead for the side of the final tribe. You know, as 8k, it's pretty successful. They didn't want to initiate Chessie on Chessie in that mid lane because firstly it's a Templar Assassin with Refraction, and as well as the fact they can see her newly minted BKB. But they think Roshan might be up soon. They know it's not there because they have the trap, so they must be looking for a... I think they're looking for a fight and then hoping Roshan respawns by the time they're done with it.
Ooh,
and their scan has been successful.
Yeah, the Radiant scan's right over here from TFT. So they know they're in the area. Of course, they're smoked up, though. Rocket Flare throwing out, and there we go. Now they see them. Clockwork is going to go in. The Doom applied to Focus. There's the hookshot follow-up as well. The cock trap. Morphling's certainly going to fall right now. 50 seconds out of the fight as TA in pursuit of the Lena. Force staff helping to get her away. Morphling does buy back. He is porting back into this round. What's going on over here? Troll Warlord, meanwhile, it's a completely different fight himself. Oh no, the Ghost Scepter. That Battle Trance. Brewmaster takes him for a walk, and man, TFT got way too tunnel vision right there on Lena. I mean, they almost kill Lena, but they don't. Like, that's the biggest thing. Like, if they kill Lena, maybe that's okay, but you cannot just leave your troll alone like that. And now, SexyAsF once more. TA going to be morphed into from Morphling. Clockwork, the cogs, pushback helps. Chaotic Offering, though, coming out. Fatal Bonds as well. The Primal Split on top of this. BKB from Chessie Aubrey takes out Rasta. It's caught in play. Oh, no, he's TPing now. That's what he's doing. That was a little too far up right there. Rasta buys back, by the way. Primal Split still active for 6 more seconds. As Hanskin continues to juke through the trees up to the north. And around that tier 1 tower, eventually coming back together with Brewmaster though. Moreflake sitting on top of Doom. Moreflake still has that Ethereal Blade ready to do some nuke. Templar Assassin, Refraction. Opener, the meld, also the buybacks from Oracle, but it's not in time. The Laguna Blade nuke on Templar Assassin, too much damage. And now the Shackles to catch the dieback Oracle. And just like that, SexyAsF is now at the tier 2 tower all of a sudden, and they're going to be pushing into the base.
I literally don't know what to say. It was a really nice engagement initially for the side of Final Tribe. You know, they pick up the Morphling of Focus, but you're totally right. They get tunnel visioned on this Lina. Morphling Focus buys back, and they don't retreat at all. And then they continue to take this fight by the tier 1 tower. That goes badly. Then they decide, oh, let's fight again near our tier 2. And it looks like it's just going to be a melee Rax for this. What a turnaround by the side of Sexy.
The fight started all the way over here at their shrine, and it ends at the base of TFT with them pushing into the rack. So that really was something. At the Final Tribe,
yeah,
making the correct calls there.
They should have been happy as soon as they forced out the focus buyback, but they really thought they could get the Lina, and maybe they could, but it was honestly this, you know, you would have lost one here, but it was the fact that, you know, they really thought they could defend this tier 1 even without their Troll Warlord, and they most certainly couldn't.
Well, somebody just got their TP style. That would be Doom. Gets caught by the hack, so Mikasa is trying to stall him as long as he can. Lina yields in, LSA. Oh, but the BKB, and now he dooms up. Lina says, all right, now let's fight. But Zibe, I don't think you're winning this fight, buddy. He is going to try to run away now, but another hex, tackles, and focus with the Ethereal Blade will indeed take him out. So, okay, it distracts for Roshan, so there's a positive. TFT.
Yeah, I don't think he would have committed so hard for that fight if the rest of his team weren't in the Roche pit. But he knew what he was doing there.
Clockwork. He's dead. Checking out the shrine area, but again, TFT gets a nice objective with the second Roshan, but that's SexyAsF, a couple of pickoffs here and there. Doom did activate his Doom, though, so that's one thing about that distraction that was a little bit curious to me. How I suppose it helped him survive a little bit longer, but now he won't have it when he's back up, unfortunately. He's going to have to wait 90 more seconds.
Yeah, so the side of the Final Tribe, they do manage to get Aegis and they are ahead in gold, but to me it feels like they've missed their timing a little bit because, you know, you hit these double BKBs together, but they haven't been able to accomplish anything. I mean, the TA's had her BKB for a very long time that she's now sitting on 2.5k gold. As I think this is just harassment on the cross. They're not really trying to kill him.
He has cheese making use out if anything, but now he's going back in, pops a battle trance. Yep, he is going to chase after Lina. Lina's just hiding away. You know, lands the LFA. Warlock was picked up, buys back Cheese Eat, as well as a BKB from Troll Warlord. Make sure to stay alive. TA also gets the pick off though on Arasta. He's got a double damager, by the way. So Focus manning up into the TA, but has help from Lina. Lina with a burst. Not enough damage initially, but the refactor finally wears off again. And down goes TA. So the Aegis used. Can TFT protect the Templar Assassin? Out comes Chaotic Offering. TA able to blink away initially to the refraction up on Morphling as he's morphed into Templar. And the waveform through to take out Troll finally. There's no Era attempting to get away from Brewmaster. Just going to go for the TP play. That is going to work at the last second. Avoided the Adaptive Strike.
Yeah, that Strength Adaptive Strike looked like it had connected, but these long fights are not favoring the side of the Final Tribe at all. No. They lose their Aegis from their TA, they lose their Troll. Just, I really think they have to learn when to cut their losses, but they're fighting so hard into this Morphling, and I think if they don't get the initiation on him and he turns himself into the TA, there's absolutely nothing they can do about it.
Warlock and some vision even in the base, but fortunately for him, he literally placed it right next to a sentry. So, countered immediately. But still, very happy moment there for SexyAsF. TA is still split pushing the top lane. Eventually he's going to TP back, though. And has 4,000 gold saved up. So Chessie, it's decision time. And, well, there's the answer. Orchid right-clicked by Chessie. Next item of choice. Bloodthorn eventually, I'm sure, is a thought, too.
Yeah, obviously Silence is great against his Morphling. He will probably have his Manta style. Actually, no, you already have the Orchid, and he's not even at the Usher, so I take that back. You won't have the full Manta style. But for the side of the Final Tribe, things feel very, very difficult at this point in time because they've taken 2 fights with their BKBs. Those are fights they should have been dominating, but Focus has just been, I really feel, able to outplay them and run circles around them.
Yeah, SexyAsF has looked like a little bit cleaner of a team as this game has picked up right now. This is, again, game 1 of this best of 3. As TFT scans the dire jungle, not hitting anyone though, but they are smoked up. Looking to find that somebody. They perhaps wrap around mid, could be, as Rasta walking away slowly thanks to the TA trap. And there's the Meld auto attack, but the Ghost Scepter. And Mikasa surviving for now. He's going to TP out, and he's good. Get away.
Yeah, so side of Final Tribe, they're going for these smoke ganks. They are making the aggressive moves that they have to do to try and get themselves back on the map. But the itemization here, you know, it's very, very good here. A Glimmer Cape to be able to save people, the Ghost Scepter, the Ether Lens, so you're able to initiate from long distance away. And it means that because there isn't really much magic damage to speak of other than the Oracle, and you know, the Oracle's more focused now that we're out of the laning phase on getting off a really good False Promise or saving someone with that Fortune's End. That you know, just having a Ghost Scepter means the Troll Warlord and the TA, they're both not going to be able to kill you.
Yeah. Not to put this game on the back of Doom, but it really does feel like it's going to come down to his initiations. And I'm a little surprised almost that he doesn't actually have a single target neutral creep to disable that Linken's, such as the Purge or the Net or whatever. So he is relying on others to take off the Linken's first before he dooms, or maybe he's just going for the Lina instead. But either way, fight could be happening here, and that Doom may find a target. He's just about to.
Yeah, on your note, I think I prefer a single target item over a single target creep, just because War Stomp is just so good at when you've got the Blink Dagger. You know, being able to get it, it's a 3-second duration AoE stun. It's so powerful. So I think maybe something like a Halberd or maybe even a 4-star for him, because you are right. If he's initiating, he needs speed 1 to break that Lincoln Sphere himself.
Morphling gonna send out the illusions, using those Manta style illusions to do so down here and push out the creep wave. There's the Diffusal Blade finally finished on Troll. Came a lot later than we were expecting, considering he had it clicked up initially. But went to with the SNY, then he went to BKB. But now he's got the Diffusal, so suddenly a bit more of a threat, especially against the Morphling. But we have seen that. I mean, the Star team's done a fantastic job of kiting him. And the Diffusal Blade it helps, but it doesn't change that in full. Ghost Scepters are still also really good against him.
Yeah, I was going to say the Diffusal Blade helps with being kited. You know, obviously with that active of the inhibit, you're able to stay on top of people a tiny bit longer. But it does feel like we've reached the stage of the game where they have even more items to be able to kite him. You know, we talked about the Ethereal Blade, we talked about the Ghost Scepters, and I wouldn't be surprised if there's some sort of force or even on Skylark, here you go, a Heaven's Halberd.
Lina gets hit. Yeah, gonna be scared right there. She gets hit by the rocket flare, but she'll 4-staff and TP away, so unable to make the actual catch on her. Clockwork always hunting for that target. Has a full Spirit Vessel now to go with his own 4-staff, and working on a Blade Mail. Certainly a good item to have. And then the later game, of course. Brewmaster, speaking of Heaven's Halberd, Brewmaster has one of his own against TA, against Troll. Both very good heroes to have it.
Yeah, I mean, especially the TA, because you get that full 5-second disable, or if you manage successfully to find the Troll Warlord in his range form. Not usually. He's not usually in it at the end of the game, but you never know if you get lucky.
Yeah, mid lane, some creep wave pushed into the base, and Oracle will make his way back to clear it out the best that he can. The bottom tier 2 easily going to be destroyed by SexyAsF, and that's the last Adder Tower for them to worry about.
Breaky, you know something we haven't been talking about is we are about to be on the precipice of Roshan number 3.
Oh yeah, good point.
This is the first game I think we've had of the day that has had the possibility of dropping that Aghanims, and it'd be so good here on either the Shadow Shaman or the Lina. And the Warlock, 3 amazing carries here for the side of Sexy.
That's true, man. I mean, that's kind of a crazy drop. It really is. Like, and I know it's random. It's 50-50, I believe, in terms of whether it's that or the Refresher Shard. Shard, of course, is also very good, but something about, yeah, there's some heroes, and I think Warlock is one of those, where Agh's Warlock, if he could just manage to get that passive buff, holy crap, that's going to be crazy. So yeah, Tier 3 Roshan is certainly something that, of course, both teams will contest for. It could be the game decider at that point.
I mean, just the fact that it's not like, if it was, you know, single use like a refresher shard, like, you know, you get 1 Aghanims, whatever your Aghanims does, you know.
Or just like a duration.
Yeah, exactly. You know what? That's even better. You know, like it lasts, you know, like 5 minutes, like the Aegis. But the fact is, it's a full 4,200 gold item for killing the 3rd Roshan. That's permanent on you. It sounds absolutely broken, but I'm really excited to see it.
Well, Glimmer Cape on Skylark. You got Zibe jumping in, acting like he was going to doom shit until just yet. Promptly burst it off of that, but he's able to pop that Battle Trance over here. Cock Trap on a couple. Doom is eventually activated. Then Brewmaster and Warlock will both end up going down. Kiatic Offering is going to be killed off. Buyback for the Brewmaster way up here. Again, though, another case of Troll. He's just off on his own, and I think the Battle Trance is almost a thing for that one. Got pulled in, and TFT has to retreat.
Yeah, the morphing of focus, he was the one, they got the troll very low because he started off by being hexed and then took the full shotgun from focus. So, you know, he pops his BKB and his ultimate, and then focus does the very, very correct thing of just trailing him back to his shrine. So as soon as his BKB wore off, it was him versus the Shadow Shaman, the leader of the morphing. And the troll can't 3-on-1 just yet.
Arrow's gonna save himself with a false promise for the time being. Morphling now dealing with Zibe. Clockwork managed to live, by the way. I thought for sure he was dead, but oh, war trap on Templar Assassin. She gets stuck in these roster wars, locked in with the shackles. 90 seconds, she's out now. As she ends up getting killed off, and they both buy back, her as well as the Clockwork. Troll's up in 20. Want to try to save the, oh, and that's being pointed out, yeah. The Aghs is sure enough on Roshan.
I'm very excited for this Roshan to go down, but they have all bought back. They're clearly trying to contest this. They have the vision in the pit thanks to the trap, thanks to the rocket flare. But Sexy, they're not afraid. They are contesting this.
Wow, they really are. Lena's going down quickly. Yules to keep himself alive. The burst down on Oracle off to the side from Morphling, but Lena is picked off. She is staying dead. Oracle's able to buy back. And Roshan very low. It's going to be damn close. Doom holding his ground. The Clockwork Cog Trap kills Ross, and he buys back immediately. Brewmaster trying to finish off Morphling at the last second. Wait for him. Who's going to pick up one? The is picked up by Morphling. Who the hell got the act? I don't even know just yet. Anyways, they make the Aegis burn right away on Morphling. And it is on Templar Assassin. Okay, baby, the teleports. Here we go. Warlock, by the way, is going to be killed as well. And yeah, TA suddenly has this new ability called Psionic Projection. We'll see if that comes into play now.
She just, that Roche fight, the final tribe, yeah, great play by them. You know, I wouldn't have been man enough to go into that pit, but you know, they race in, they pop their BKBs, they focus down this Lina, they know there's no brew split for the next fight, and TA luckily able to pick up the Aghanims consumable, and now map control for the side of the final tribe. You know, you've basically got this global presence of the Templar Assassin as long as she leaves some traps that don't get too warded. Morphling,
gotta be careful. He's in trouble. They have Doom. Why are they not using it? Okay, he gets away. I am shocked right there. They literally had, I thought for sure Doom was coming out.
They didn't have any vision for the Glimmer Cape, did they?
Oh, was he glimmered? Okay.
Yeah, the Shadow Shaman glimmered him, and they don't have any detection on anyone. But the final tribe, after taking that good fight during the Roche pit, they take a, well, not a full lane of racks, but a melee barracks of their own. This game is swinging back and forth.
That's the important one, absolutely. And you saw Morphling right there. He didn't even mention that, but the level 20 talent, he did indeed go the ally one. He took over Rasta right there, but you mentioned the Brewmaster synergy. Certainly, I'm sure something that he's looking to do in these fights and moving forward. But I really want to go back to those Aghs because, again, compared to the Aegis and the Refresher Shard and all the other 3 items, those are consumables. You use them and they're done. Like, the fact that this is permanent is just mind-boggling to me. It really is stupid strong. And suddenly Templar Assassin again has 4,200 more net worth, and normally she wouldn't buy this item, but now she has it. She has that crazy powerful ability just the rest of the game. That's just insane.
Yeah, is the Aghanim Scepter counted towards your net worth? I know she has shot up, so I think it must be. So, you know what? That's kind of a nice downside that it's actually counted towards your net worth, because, you know, it will affect all the calculations if you or anyone in your team dies. But, I mean, you're totally right. It's absolutely bonkers, and literally, I am just following Chessie, hoping to see my first use of this psionic projection.
Oh, what if he's sitting here like, okay, how do I use this? What does this do again? So it's a 2-second channel time. He can teleport to any of his traps globally, if I'm not mistaken. So he can like literally teleport up here and go for the range racks, you know, pending backdoor protection, of course. But again, that sounds insane. The mobility is ridiculous. By the way, he just finished a nullifier now. So that's a pretty big item that we cannot overlook.
Yeah, this is exactly what they needed, because they were being kited by these Ghost Scepters, by the Ethereal Blades, and it gives them another thing to be able to break Lincolns. You know, I like to call this Bloodthorn Nullifier the Son of Doom build. And so now you have so much to get onto that Morphling and be able to control him, because, you know, you use both of those on the Morphling, and then, you know, and then Zibe is definitely going to be able to get off a good Doom on him.
Yeah. Dire scans him in the area. Spartan wrapping around, leading the charge. Chaotic Offering ready. Would like to get Warlock level 20 for the extra Chaotic Offering. Not just yet, though. Rocket Flare going through. They see Morphling. You see Dire Team slowly moving up. Brewmaster finally jumps in. Doom applied to Brewmaster, though, so no Primal Split. Morphling in the backline, dealing with the Troll, as well as the Oracle. Cannot burst down the Oracle, so the Whirling Axe battle as he morphs into the Troll Warlock. Chaotic Offering does finally come down. Houndskin with that Blade Mail in the midst of it, no doubt doing plenty of reflect damage. Eventually, they're going to pick off Rasta. Is Skylark going to die in the end? No, he's alive for now, actually. He still has that Primal Split, as he's going to run away. Over here, Morphling. Can he get out of there? Now the Battle Trance gets another proc to false. Fortune's End keeping him in place, but the Ghost Scepter will mitigate damage, and he waveforms out of there. Hanskin runs all the way back, as TA was picked off, by the way. Way over here.
I was following that engagement. I didn't see what. It seems Chessie was the one zoning back the rest of Sexy, and there's no buyback on this Templar Assassin. It's time work limited, because she used it in a previous engagement, and they might know about this.
Oh, absolutely, they know about this, but TFT, man, I mean, you gotta communicate better. Like, this is now the third or fourth time one of their cores is just completely in another position. And yeah, she dies. So I didn't catch it on camera, but you can just look where she died, and I'm looking at the death recap now. She was dealing with Warlock, Lena, and even a little bit from Brewmaster in that spot while they were distracted by the Morphling, understandably. But still, you just cannot be in that position, especially with no buyback ready. And TA, is it time? You said it was time? Okay, yeah, 248 remaining on that cooldown. So she's out for 100 seconds. Suddenly that top net worth farm TA and the Ags and everything, it just doesn't matter. And they're going to unpause the game.
Yeah, without that TA, you know, you do the calculation, and suddenly the side of Sexy, they're basically 20k gold ahead, and they take Throne very, very quickly. There's no Doom for this fight, but they are going to lose Spartan.
Okay, good fight so far from TA. Oh, big hook shot. It hits both. Lena's going to be pushed back into the trouble with the Troll Warlord in the face. Doesn't have Battle Trance, so they do get the kill on Nataki. Buyback from Doom coming back in. Buyback from Lena, though. She has the boss, I believe, but Morphling. Can they finish the job there? The Spirit Vessel's up. Only cannot yet focus. Pops Samantha style. Gets rid of that Spirit Vessel, and now he's going back in, also being healed up by the Warlock. Troll Warlord, still 28 seconds on that Battle Trance. Throw out the Rolling Axes, run away. That's it again. Fortune's End, but the Yules, and now he's in a lot of trouble. Does he have False Promise? No, but he has the Fate's Edict and some heals to throw in. Morphling trying to finish off Doom. Doom would be a dieback, but he manages to core staff away. Still 50 seconds. It feels like they've been defending forever. It's still 45 plus seconds for TA.
Yeah, they've done a good job, though. They've already forced out a whole bunch of buybacks, a whole bunch of TPs, and now they're back to full health, and they're looking for another kill.
They get in the Morphling. Morphling buys back immediately. Does he have bots? I'm not even sure. Doesn't look like he's TPing, or he's trying to make them. Okay, he finally makes them, and he is going to TP, and they're all in. I mean, this is a bots buyback Morphling.
Yeah, I'm looking at buybacks, and the only one on the entire map who has buyback here is Frost.
this is risky from SexyAsF. It feels like it's very risky. Troll, speaking of him, no, the full promise of the last second is going to be fine. Does he use back chance? Yes, he does. Nice heals from Lena. Now he focuses on Warlock, and now he's going after Morphling because everything is well to be not fought against. And no, the full heal as he comes out of the false promise, but the lockdown is just too much. He goes down, he fights back immediately. I expect to do apply to Lena, by the way, and Lena's very likely going to die too. That's just dishing out as much damage as she can before the death. Maybe not, actually. It's ticking down slowly, so running away, and I think SexyAsF has finally realized, you know what? We have to fall back, as Lena will barely survive.
TA has psionic projection. I think she should go to this trap. I think she should go to this trap and try and head them off. It might be because she hasn't played with it enough, but because you don't think about this global potential. But, you know, you can get to the shrines, you can get over here. You see this Warlock by himself, you can get this kill, and you know they don't have buyback. I know it's so risky, but I think it's the kind of thing they should do.
Yeah, it is very risky. I see what you're saying, though. Absolutely. I could see that being a great play right there, especially the one in the base I think you're referring to there. So, but is not going to do that, at least for now. Playing the safe route. Wants to farm a buyback. You know, once he has buyback, which the timer's about to expire, needs 160 more gold, he'll have it. Feel a bit more comfortable to try to make those plays, but this is certainly still anyone's game, the way this is looking.
Yeah, Sexy, they committed for the all-in play. You know, absolutely everyone used their buybacks. You know, they bought Boots to Travel, they barreled down mids, but this Troll Warlord saving his buyback. Oracle again saving him on a sliver of health. And she'll be back in 22 seconds, but it looks like they're still committed to this go down mid game plan, and with only one tier 4 remaining, I kind of understand why.
Lena with a Death Slayer, by the way. I don't even mention that, but anyways, Doom gonna stun it. Does not have his Doom just yet. Nullifier even applied to Warlock. Can he pop Chaotic Offering before? No, he cannot. He's not level 20 yet either, so no golden dropping. Hookshot lands on Lena. Lena's in a lot of trouble. Spirit Vessel's on the Battle Trance auto attack, and she's out for 2 minutes. SexyAsF may have overstepped now, as TFT has a big opening. Roshan could have respawned by now. They're gonna realize it's not up yet. They have a trap in there, but they're pushing. Yeah,
they're pushing. It's a 3 versus 5 for the side of the final tribe. They know it. They feel it. This is their time. And I still haven't seen one Sonic projection. I just want one. You've got the Ags. You have the ability.
It feels almost wasted on him now. As cool as the concept is, the fact that he's not using it, it's like, come on, man. You got this great item. Just make use of it. But well, as long as they win the game, that's what matters for them. And they're just going to go right for tier 4. Yeah, they don't want to waste time. Why would they? They have a troll lineup. Hellfire in, good Glimmer Cave from Shadow Shaman just before. So he's good. They need to distract as long as they can, though. Rasta Ward's put down. Lift. Onto the TA. Focus is back in. Hook shot in the back lens. Rasta caught by that. Doom going to be applied to Rasta. Shadow Shaman, that's going to be a dieback. He's out for 85. Focus is like, I want to go, but I'm by myself. Oh, nope. They make it easy. The double Doom coming out. GG's call. And that'll do it. Refresher on Doom helps finish the job. TFT. That's just game number 1. Pretty solid one out there.
Wow. That game, I thought it looked so bad for the side of the final fight, but Sexy overcommitting massively to that mid fight, trying to take advantage of the TA. But the final tribe did an amazing job defending in this 4v5 scenario, forcing out all their buybacks, then winning another fight when they went for the final all-in, and there was nothing they could do. And Zibe with that double doom at the end, getting it on the Morphling, getting it on the Shadow Shaman. I do have to say, I'm still mad at Chessie. I don't know if I'm ever going to let this go. I think I have a permanent grudge now.
I'm going to message him, honestly, after this and try to figure out what the hell... and be like, do you even know what that does? Because, yeah, I don't even know if he was fully aware. I just didn't want to risk using it or something. But, yeah, it seemed like there was a couple of times, at least, he could have had fun with it. But, yeah, ultimately didn't get to see it. Again, the fact that he got it over anyone else, it was a takeaway, so you can look at it from that aspect, too. He didn't allow anyone on SexyAsF to pick it up. But, yeah, it's just a... It is unfortunate that he didn't even use it himself.
The side of the final tribe, the game, it really did start to properly turn around for them when they went for that Roche engagement. But
yeah.
again, it seems to be for the final tribe, whenever they're fighting 4v5, that they just fight better, because Frost wasn't there for that initial engagement. And yeah, they were just able to successfully get some kills, steal almost everything but the Aegis. And then SexyAsF felt really, really pressured in that game. As you see the Desolator on the Lina, they just wanted to finish the game, and they were not able to do such.
It's just game one, though, so TFT up 1-0. SexyAsF has a chance to respond and force a third game. Elimination match. Can TFT finish the job? Will SexyAsF go to game 3 with a victory? We're going to find out next on Break CPK, joined by Haspass. Stay tuned, guys. The Chi League Invitational will continue next.